Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome on into another episode of the Rust Belt Rivalry podcast. I'm Brian Philos, my co host Nick. We're going to be talking Buckeyes, Browns, Bengals, a lot of NFL recap of week 14, and a little bit of previews for the week 15 ahead. Nick, how are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay, Brian. Yourself?
Well, after watching that Joe Burrow video and talking about how unhappy he was playing football, I'm guessing I'm in a better place than you with Shador Sanders. But
Okay, those were not his exact words, so let's not hang on a second here. It's definitely a little concerning hearing that, though. I'm starting to get a little bit of Andrew Luck vibes right now, and it's not great. I think that we don't need to jump to conclusions on this interview that he just had. But it definitely is enough if you're a Bengals fan to kind of be a little concerned on like, what did he just say? Why did he just say that? So I hope it's a message, honestly, to the front office to say, hey, get your crap together or I'm done. So
get the man an offensive line, get him some defensive players, pay some people, maybe something like that.
Well, that's the thing, Brian. The Bengals' offensive line has actually been playing pretty damn good this year, all things considered. That is not their weakest point this year. It's obviously the defense. But we could talk a little bit about that now because that Bills game, man, super frustrating again. Just, it felt like the 2022 divisional. They go in there, it's snowing, and then the Bengals start hot and they never really let up. But again, of course, third quarter comes and they just kind of fall apart per usual. It's just a typical Zach Taylor game. No lead is ever safe with this team. I mean, what else can you say? Every Bengal fan was thinking at the end of the game, well, here we go. In that 3rd and 15 when they were trying to get the ball back, and then Josh Allen just makes the first down. It's predictable at this point. So not great, Brian.
Well, Josh Allen is an alien, number one. I mean, he's like Myles Garrett.
It doesn't help. I agree with that. It's just nobody was around the guy. You'd think they'd do a QB spy or something, but nope, that's not what Al Golden wants to do. So,
well, your defense has been bad all year. I mean, the biggest surprise to me was you guys were up 10 points going into the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
Didn't want to run the ball? Yeah. Is that what you're going to say?
Partially, yeah. I mean, and the shocking things for me was just Josh Allen with that 40-yard, even more than the 17-yard pickup to win the game. I mean, that 40-yard dash that he had to the end zone. I mean, what do you attribute that to? I mean, is that more defensive coordinator? You've already mentioned Al Golden. What's going on with the defense, man? I mean, they just played good against Baltimore.
It's just nobody being able to step up to make a play, man. It's the same thing over and over. Their linebacking core is horrible. It's just their two rookie linebackers are ranked, I think, 78th and 79th overall in the league. So that's obviously not helping matters.
Okay.
And it showed, man. They have no pass rush without Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson's done for the season. He's probably done wearing a Bengals uniform. So I don't know what they're going to do at this point. I mean, they need to this offseason. They cannot be afraid to spend money, and they got to nail the draft because the last couple of years they have not been able to do that. So it's a concern.
And what's the update with Shamar Stewart? How's he been playing for the last few weeks? I haven't been watching him closely.
He's been hurt. He is back to practice this week, though. So Zach Taylor said that he's day to day, but he wouldn't be surprised if he played on Sunday. So I think he needs all the reps he can get because he has been extremely quiet. He has 2 tackles for the season. So just not ideal. Again, he's young. Could he turn it around? Yes. I mean, he has the abilities, man. Like everybody was saying with the draft, he looks a lot like Myles Garrett. He doesn't play like Myles Garrett, but he's just looks like he's a freak, right? But again, he showed he couldn't sack the quarterback in college, and it's obviously showing in the NFL. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, David Njoku also absolutely looks like an athletic freak from with his shirt off, but doesn't always pan out. So,
Yeah, I
um,
mean, it's just I don't know. Back to the running game too, with what you were saying about that Bills game. It's just I feel like Zach was forced to want to pass the ball because he's seeing that. I mean, for example, they had 63 rushing yards total on the day. Um, I would have liked to see them not abandon the run like that, especially, when you're up 10 points with 8 minutes to go. I mean, yeah, work some clock, do something. Um,
mm,
but I that one, at least one of those passes were on Joe Burrow. I mean, that's just not a good read. I don't really know what he was doing there, but I wish he would have thrown that one away to where the ball was picked. But obviously, he just lobbed it in like it was just he was playing basketball. So I don't
jeez.
know.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Only 19 total attempts for the
Yeah,
rushing for the game.
yeah. That's what Zach Taylor does, though, man. When it is not working, he just immediately is like, "Okay, I'm done. We're passing the rest of the game." It's consistent.
Mm,
So
think,
he
think that.
doesn't know how to play with a lead. That's the problem. We're usually losing. So
Well, and the other thing that I noticed with that game particularly as I was watching the highlights and watching it again, the tight ends just seem to be carving you guys up for the Bills. I mean, it was Kincaid, it
yeah.
was Knox, and even another guy I've never even heard of. I guess scored another touchdown on you guys. Has that been a theme all year? Have I missed that, or is that just last week?
It was definitely more of a theme on Sunday for sure. Um, but again, it goes back to honestly just not being able to tackle and then just poor man coverage, especially with the linebacking core.
Hmm,
So I
okay.
don't see it getting any better. But
So so here's the big money question now. 'Cause you were bullish. Well, you were on the show last week. You bailed out with your little sniffles, but you were bullish last week after the win over the Ravens on Thanksgiving, and you told me, not on the show, but on off air, you told me that the Bengals were going to win the division, that they were going to get into the playoffs. Joe Burrow was going to light it up, and he's back, baby. Now, I'm looking at it right now. The Bengals currently have a 2.9% chance to win the division
yep.
and get in the playoffs, which basically means they got to win the division to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
How you feeling today?
Was I sober when I said that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
I hope.
Um, yeah. It's a tough task, man. They got to win out, and then I think the Steelers have to lose 3 games, and one of them is to the Ravens, the last game of the season. So I play to win, but yeah, I'm not getting my hopes up.
Okay. Well, I hope you win just enough to get a worse draft pick, to be honest.
That
But
that's what I'm scared about, Brian. Like I want Caleb Downs, but if they start winning, like it's going to be a problem.
yeah, that's not happening. You guys are picking what 10th right now. We can look into that in a little while. But
Yeah.
um,
Speaking of problems, let's look. Can we just talk about that's Kevin Stefanski play call at the end of the game there, the 2 point conversion?
what's your thought on it? Go ahead. I've already
I
got my
mean,
my, my thoughts.
Sanders is having a pretty solid game and he's not on the field. I don't know.
I I struggle to. Okay, so here's the big problem, right? And you're in those goal to go situations. What is the most important thing that you need to rely on? Your offensive line, right?
Mhm.
And our offensive line as of Sunday was playing 4 out of the 5 linemen were backups, and some of them were backups to the backups. Our center was got injured in the middle of the game; he's out for the year. Our right guard didn't play that week. Wyatt Teller, Janet Conklin misses more games than he plays. Dewan Jones went out with injury multiple weeks ago. At left tackle, we've had a rotating door. So in those situations, and what a lot of people are failing to pay attention to is the 2 point conversion before that. Shador Sanders fumbled a snap. Again, it
Yeah.
was a backup center. I don't blame it on Shador. I'm guessing it was probably just a miscommunication with him in the center who they probably got almost no reps together prior to the game. So I don't blame them for the play call that they chose. I think Quinshawn Judkins just lost his damn mind for a second there. I mean, you can see he's reading the cornerback, and if the cornerback stays, he's supposed to pitch it or
Yeah.
toss it or whatever you call it. And he just doesn't do that. He's staring at the cornerback, and he passes like two ships in a night, and then he's like, "Oh shoot!" And then he's like, "No, I can't pitch it now." But I mean, if you look, I mean, he had a wide open path to the end zone.
Yep.
It just
I
didn't
mean,
work. So
how many times do you think they practice that play in the week though? And they were like saying, "We're gonna run this play." You know what I mean?
uh,
Like it's
again, they have practiced it. It was probably with Malachi Corley and not Larvadan. So, but Malachi Corley is injured. Also, again, it was probably with the starting center and not the backup center. But they've been practicing that since the offseason. So
yeah.
I, that's not my problem with this game. I mean, and I have a lot of problems with this game against the Titans that we played, and I'll get into that here in just a second. But my question, and I guess this is a new thing in the NFL because of statistics and all of that, is that if you're down by 14 and you score a touchdown, the correct, uh, the smart move, I guess, if you will,
To
is
go for
to
two.
go for two, right?
Yeah.
So with the theory being that if you miss it the first time, you're almost guaranteed to get it the second time
Right.
because you get 50% of 2-point conversions. Um, I I love the aggressiveness, but I hate it in that situation. How do you feel about that?
I go back and forth with it. I guess it just depends on the moment, but it is risky, man. Like you have a chance to just really I guess just knock it down to just one possession and just kick another extra point to tie the game after that. You know, it's not rocket science.
Nope.
But yeah, it does seem like it's definitely trending to where a lot of teams are starting to do that. So I don't know. It's it's different. I mean, but when it works, it's great, right? So
Sure. And normally Kevin Stefanski is aggressive, and I love it. Like I absolutely love the aggressiveness. I even loved it 2 weeks ago when he went for it on fourth and one on his own 32. Like I thought it was a
mhm.
smart call. I mean, I complained about it because they weren't set and everything, but normally I'm okay with the aggressiveness. But that
Yeah,
I just can't wrap my head around. Like, dude, take the points. You know, be down by 7, and then if you get to there and you want to go for the game and you want to go for a 2-point conversion to win the game at that point, sure.
yeah.
But I, I
That's what
don't
makes
I
more
don't get it.
sense to me. Like you're just putting more pressure on yourself if it doesn't work the first time.
Exactly.
So
100%. Um, other than that, I mean, it this game was both embarrassing and exciting at the same time. That being the Browns versus the Titans. Miles Garrett was clearly just going for the sack record, right? He was blowing by. He had no gap integrity almost the entire game. The Titans just kept exposing it. He would blow by the chip, and then they would throw it to the guy who chipped him, right? And so
yeah,
Miles Garrett is 5, 10 yards upfield. They would dump it off to the wide receiver or the tight end or the running back, whoever was chipping him, and then all of a sudden he's got 15, 20 yards of grass in front of him because Miles Garrett is 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage trying to get the quarterback. It was
mhm,
rough. Obviously, this was our first game without Malik Collins. Malik Collins went out last week. And clearly, not only did he have a huge impact on the sack numbers because I think he had 6.5 sacks. He was on pace for 10 sacks this year. For a defensive tackle is pretty damn good. But he was sorely missed, right? I mean, it was clear as day that they had a running game, and a big part of it was because of Malik Collins not being there. I mean, this is the same defense that held Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Christian McCaffrey to some extent, Chase Brown, like all to like almost nothing burgers for their norm. And then Tony Pollard, of all people, like who has done absolutely nothing all year, goes crazy, right? 160
yeah,
yards or something, couple touchdowns. Like it's just so sad. And it's just figures, right? As a Browns fan, like the 1 week that we finally put up points, finally, Shador like starts clicking and he's putting up points. Although a lot of it was in the fourth quarter, doesn't really matter. Like this is the game that the defense dribbles down their leg and allows the Titans to put up 31 points, who, by the way, were averaging, I think, 14 points per game. Like, it was embarrassing. They had 14 points in the first quarter. Um,
Yeah.
but the
It was a
exciting
weird
part,
one.
it was weird. And the funny thing was, it was one I talked about this last week. It was one of the lowest spreads or total over points. It was like 33 and a half, I think, going into the game. And obviously they crushed that, I think, right
Yeah.
before halftime. So that was kind of funny in that manner. But the awesome thing for me, I mean, I've been a Shador fan since before the draft. I was hoping they'd pick him up with the second pick overall. Obviously, that's all, in the past now, and we got him anyway. I didn't understand the Dylan Gabriel pick, but Shador Sanders clearly showed you this week that he is a franchise quarterback. I mean, again, I already referenced it. You've got 4 out of your 5 linemen are backups for majority of the game. You've got a wide receiver group who is 5th in the league in drops. They are in the bottom 3 in both speed and separation categories, and he turned that crew of people into 393 total offensive yards, being 29 that he rushed. The rest were him passing. I mean, he just threw 3 dimes to Fannin, to Jerry Jeudy. I mean, it was awesome to watch. And the funny thing, looking at statistically, surprisingly enough, he was rushed. There was a rush win rate of 63% on our offensive line for the Titans defense. That is the
Mhm.
highest win rate that has happened in the NFL this whole season for any team, any quarterback. So for him to put up those numbers, not only in a game like this in his 3rd game starting, but to win out with that kind of percentage, it was just amazing to
Well,
me.
Brian, let's just hang on a second here. I get where you're coming from. You
Mhm.
got to understand though the Titans defense is ranked what, 29th? And I know you're going to say it's the NFL, it's a young quarterback, but come on, it's the Titans. Let's just relax a little bit.
Again, I agree with you, but okay, as a guy who watches every game and has watched what 2 other quarterbacks have looked like with this same team, I'm telling you, and they had a better offense. They actually had our starting, like, offensive line, okay? And again, knowing that the wide receivers are so trash, like,
Yeah.
it to me, I mean, if we had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and, a decent offensive line that ranked in the middle of the pack, I would say, sure, yes, he had a lot
Yeah.
of help. But this guy basically did it all on his own.
Okay, so you're canceling it out basically because he didn't have a lot of starters.
He's
That's
got
fine. I get your argument.
he's got a left
Um,
he had a left guard in Joel Bitonio who has, obviously been around a long time, and then he had Harold Fannin and Judd. The run game couldn't even get started. He
yeah.
had he had 29 rushing yards, which led the team. That's how awful our
Well,
run game was.
we'll see how he does against your second favorite team, the Bears, this week. Looking forward to
Well,
that one.
we'll talk about that, buddy. We'll talk about that, buddy. Only other things I'll point out for this game, I mean, special teams was ugly. I still don't know how Bubba Ventrone has a job. The man should be on a milk carton. Kevin Stefanski's loyalty to his assistant coaches is just sickening sometimes. I talked about it last week. Joe Woods disgusted me that he kept him for as long as he did. Bubba Ventrone, we had another block punt we allowed, and Larvidan. I love Larvidan. Okay, I love him as a player, but the dude almost fumbled 3 times last week. One of the balls he did fumble, and then this week he muffed another punt, which fortunately he fell on. But it's like, put somebody else in there, like
Yeah.
anybody else. Let's quit doing that. Other than that, man, this guy Harold Fannin, I mean, he's breaking records right now. He is 17th
Yeah.
for all-time rookie receiving yards, and he's on pace to like finish 8th, I think. So he's not exactly Brock
Really.
Bowers, but nobody is, right? So it is awesome to watch this kid. And
Yeah.
again, it's been with 3 different quarterbacks. Like, imagine how things could be if we get a Carnell Tate, if we get a Makai Lemon. Like, other weapons around these guys to actually produce. I don't know. I'm licking my chops, baby. I'm excited. Um,
Yeah, man, that's
you,
something to be
you,
excited
you
about for sure. That's pretty impressive.
you don't want to bring me back down to reality at all, Bengals
No,
boy?
honestly, I'm it's I don't want to bring you down when you're up, Brian, especially being a Browns fan. That's just mean.
Yeah, I, that's fine. I mean, honestly, it was weirdly like a night. Like it was the uh, as a fan, it sucks to lose, but like that was probably the best thing that could have happened, right? Shador Sanders played
Yeah.
great. We hopefully have a franchise quarterback moving forward if we don't screw this one up like we did with Baker. And we lost the game, so we have a better draft pick. Like we're not
Yeah.
winning anything this season anyway, so
Do you think
lose
that the
close
Browns
games.
are going to get or I guess even host a home playoff game in the current stadium before the new stadium's open? Just out of curiosity.
I would say that the odds are not with us. um, I mean, I guess it all just depends on Shador. Like, I mean, you're looking at it's we got 26, 27, 28. We got 3 more years. And we have not won the division is in 30 some years. So I the odds are not in our favor.
Yeah. I just somebody told me that. I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of my buddies, and they're just like, "Did you know that the Browns haven't won or haven't hosted a playoff game in their current stadium?"
Yep, since
I'm just like,
1999
"Wow,
when they put that stadium on the lake, they have not hosted a playoff game. So
that's crazy."
pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
Um, this almost 30 years, no big deal. In a league where every 4 years you're supposed to win your division. Um, that's enough with the Browns' misery. Let's move on to the rest of the NFL. Talk about a little bit about injuries. So yeah, Daniel Jones obviously went out with a torn Achilles, which was a pretty big bummer because the Colts were playing some really good football until they figured out to shut down Jonathan Taylor. And you had mentioned that our boy, old Philip Rivers, 44-year-old Philip Rivers, is coming in to save that day. Um,
He was signed to the practice squad, I think, officially, right?
I thought so. I thought I saw that they signed
Yeah.
him. So that's something that may be exciting. I don't know. He saw that Matthew Stafford was getting close to his all-time passing yards records. He hopped back in.
Love
Um,
it.
other other than that, Jaden Daniels left the game again with an elbow injury, the same one that he had in his non-throwing hand. He's questionable to return. Tyrod Taylor, I don't know if anybody's following the Jets aside from Jets fans, but he went out with a groin injury. Geno Smith, shoulder injury, and they're not sure about him moving forward. Um, you have any highlights from the week that you'd like to touch on as far as the NFL games?
Um, I mean, there were some pretty darn good games. Um, the Bills or the Bears Packers game kind of came down to the wire. I know you were rooting for the Bears on that one. But I think Caleb Williams showed his true colors whenever the game's on the line. So um, loved the Chiefs getting bait. Honestly, it wasn't even really a game, honestly. I think the Texans outplayed them in every aspect of the game, which was great. Um, it's honestly crazy to think that there's going to be a playoff without Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. You just don't see that every
Oh,
year.
what a shame. We're all sad. We're really torn up about it. What a big
Hey,
bummer.
I'm just saying, I love seeing it. I absolutely love it. I honestly am extremely excited to watch this year's playoffs with some of the matchups that are probably going to happen. I know our teams aren't going to be in there, but it's like I said, with just the Chiefs not being in there, and like you got the Patriots for like the number one seed right now, tied with was it the Broncos?
Oh, here, I'll pull
It's
it
going
up.
to be good,
I'll
man.
pull it up. So
Oh,
if
there
you
you
want to
go.
talk
Okay, so
about
Denver's one.
yeah, Denver's sitting at one right now. But I mean, I don't know if it's different. Wasn't Indianapolis just in first place like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, they've honestly kind of fallen off a little bit. Um, Daniel Jones not being healthy the last couple of weeks obviously hasn't helped, but Yeah, man, it's crazy to see it, and honestly, the way this looks right now, I think that these are, in fact, the teams that get into the playoffs. I don't think anything's changing here.
Mm,
Maybe obviously seedings and whatnot, but I think these will be the 7 playoff teams. Do you agree with that, or would you change anything?
so there are one, two, three, 4 games left. So yeah, I mean, you would think Buffalo is current, or sorry, Baltimore is 2 games behind Houston for a playoff for a wild card. Yeah, I don't see that happening. With the
Yeah,
way Houston's defense is playing, CJ Stroud finally coming back to his own from his sophomore year, basically his
yeah,
sophomore slump. Yeah, I don't see any of these other teams falling off, so I wouldn't be
and
surprised if you're right.
it's great too because honestly, like, and you can argue with me on this one, but Denver and New England, when you say that they're 11-2, I just don't think that they're elite. You know what I mean? Like anybody could beat those guys. Like any of those 5 other teams could beat them. So I mean, maybe besides the Steelers, the Steelers aren't going anywhere in my opinion. But
Well, I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I feel very strongly about New England. I mean, they're going to
okay,
have a big test this week, but Denver, I don't know why. I just feel like they're fraudulent. And again, it's
yeah,
the record is the
it's
record.
yeah. I think
But
they've won like 9 in a row too. Um, but yeah, no, I would agree with you on that. It's just I think the weakest links are obviously Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. Um, so yeah, like I said, it's going to
yeah.
be exciting.
And then let's bounce over to the A or the NFC here. We'll look at the same rankings here. So this is the wild card standings as of this week, which we just finished week 14.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, weren't the Bears in first? Wow, that's so crazy.
that is bonkers to me that they were in first and now they're in seventh. I'm so frustrated about that. That's okay though. They'll be just fine. They'll be just fine. They got the Browns this week. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think. uh, Are you so I know you're licking your lips here to see Chicago fall out of this. So I'm guessing if I had to think like Nick, you're thinking that Detroit's gonna win out or win enough to supersede Chicago and they're just gonna fall into a slump these next few games?
You would think that, yeah. But hey, I mean, Chicago's got the Browns coming up on Sunday, so that's not an easy task. So they
Yeah.
should be able to stay in the playoffs right now. But yeah, I personally think Detroit's the better team. So, but they've also been struggling too, man. Like it's now you got me kind of thinking about it. I don't want to agree with you about
Mm,
Chicago. I just don't. I
mm.
don't. But
You're
Ben
finally
Johnson
coming
does.
around.
I mean, he's got some good plays in there, man. But I'm still not a believer in Caleb Williams. So
Oh my goodness.
I
Well,
here's what I want to talk about with these teams right now. Philadelphia has lost 3 in a row. They have looked horrendous the last 3 weeks. I know you're going to say like they were on the road, yada yada. But man, they do have some easy games coming up to finish the season, which definitely helps them. Uh, but if I'm one of those other teams and placing or playing them in the playoffs, I'm not really worried. It's their offense just looks flat. Um, so they need to try to turn that around before the playoffs start, or else it's going to be a pretty big problem. And those boo birds in Philly are not going to be patient.
oh my gosh. I noticed that on Thanksgiving. I think it was Thanksgiving, maybe it was the week before. I was like
Yeah.
I was so stunned. They were booing everything they did bad. Like I'm like, this is a Super Bowl champion team,
I
and
I was just thinking that, dude. Like, I feel like you and I, like, we say it now, but like, if we're in that situation, maybe it does change. But if the Browns or the Bengals won last year, and they're 8-5 this year, I mean, are you booing them? You know what I mean? Like,
no,
after it's just, I was just thinking about that. We'd be so happy to have like that, and ugh, it's just
no,
frustrating, honestly.
Again, they're currently sitting in 3rd place, even with the games that you talked about how terrible they've been the last 3 weeks. And I kinda got into it with a Philly fan online, which is probably not the smartest move for my life. But, I was like I said something about it on Twitter, and they're like, "Have you seen this pathetic offense, blah, blah, blah?" And I was like, "Yeah, but again, you're" at that time, they were 8-3. I'm like, "You guys are 8-3. Like, what more do you want? Like, they're winning games." And, yeah, so
I
I
mean, I kind of agree with that fan though, Brian. I mean, Jalen Hurts has looked horrible. Um, and I just feel like it's always just one of the receivers that end up having a good game, whether it's AJ Brown or Smith, right? Both there, I
sure.
feel like there's only been, and I know this because both of them are my fantasy team, and I'm 1-12 by the way. So I've noticed that only one of them really has a really good game. It's been one time the entire year to where they have both scored like at least 20 points. So
Mm, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, other than that, I just there's some really good games to look forward to. I know we're gonna talk about the week ahead coming up here,
yeah.
but the I was looking at this. I mean, you've got Tampa Bay and Carolina that are both 7-6 right now. They're both very up and down. They actually play each other twice in these last 4 weeks.
Oh
And
wow.
the other cool thing I'm really looking forward to is actually next week the Rams and the Seahawks. I mean, that should be a damn good game.
It's gonna be a good
Um,
game, yeah.
should have implications for who's going to win that division. So, um, other than that, I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot of surprises that happened this week in the NFL from what I saw. Um, One of the biggest things that I wanted to ask you about real quick before we move on to next week, what the heck is going on with the Dolphins? Does Mike save his job? Like, what? All I can picture is the game where the Browns just dominated them with Dylan Gabriel, and like
Right.
they've I don't know that they've lost a game since. What do you make of them?
I mean, I don't know, man. I still don't think that they're gonna go anywhere. Um, but yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. They've won what, 4 games in a row? Yeah, so they beat the Bills, but then after they beat the Bills, again, that's impressive, but look who they beat. The Commanders, the Saints, and the Jets. 3 bad teams. So I just I don't know. They have the Steelers and then the Bengals coming up. So I don't know. That one would be a tough decision because at the beginning of the season they looked horrible, but now they're starting to win. I mean, is Miami ownership going to be like, okay, yeah, like we're fine, let's run it back? But I don't think it'd be smart for them to do that at this point.
And then you mentioned the Commanders. What is it just because Jaden Daniels is not healthy? Like, is that the reason they're struggling for the most part? Is what do you see from the Commanders that I mean, last year everybody was so high on them. Everybody
Yeah,
drafted Jaden Daniels like the second quarterback overall in fantasy football drafts. What do you make
yeah.
of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely has a lot to do with that, with him being hurt. And I mean, it's only his second year too. So um, I think this team definitely has some holes in it. But looking in the next year, I think they're going to be a better team than what their record was this year for sure. I think they're going to be a contender. Nah, I think maybe they could be a wild card team next year. I mean, they have the personnel to do it if everybody's healthy. But yeah, I mean, if I'm a Commanders fan, like I'm not necessarily panicking. I just think it's one of those washed years, and that happens from time to time. So you just got to kind of accept it and move on.
Yeah, the Browns. It happens for the Browns too, from time to time only. But that's okay. All right. Well, let's get into the week ahead. So the Bengals have the Ravens. Tell us
Yeah,
your thoughts about what you're seeing from that game, and yeah, take the floor.
yeah. I mean, it's another good matchup. I mean, 2 weeks ago, the Bengals really went in there and took care of business on Thanksgiving. Yeah, if Lamar Jackson's not playing well, I don't think. I mean, he's obviously not 100%. I mean, the Ravens offense looks horrible. So, do I like my chances or their chances against the Bengals? I mean, I don't. I think the Bengals are going to end up winning the game. Personally, I mean, they're at home. They're a 2.5 point underdog. Um, but at the same time, I just keep thinking to myself that Joe Burrow press conference, like, is this going to play a factor on this game on Sunday? So it's going to be a good matchup. Like I said, it's a must win for both teams. But yeah, I'd say the Bengals come out on top here. We'll go 31-27. I like that.
Mm, mm.
Book it.
Uh, well, as usual, just like last week, I disagreed with you. I thought you're going to get beat by the Bills, and you did. Um, I think that the only reason that you guys won that game on Thanksgiving was because of the 5 turnovers, 4
Okay.
fumbles, and 1 interception. I mean, they put up. I was just looking at it. Dang it. 246 yards passing, 123 yards of rushing. I mean, it wasn't a great game, but if they didn't have those 5 turnovers, those 4 fumbles, I think you guys would have been toast. So I disagree, but we'll
Okay.
see. I'm absolutely. I mean, I would take the yards on Derrick Henry against that
As you
Bengals
should.
defense all day. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just think the Ravens get their revenge, even with Lamar not playing great. Your defense is just suspect at best.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's why they play the game, though, right? Um,
Yeah,
I mean, you're all those are really good points. I honestly can't argue with that. I mean, um, one of our guys made a great play on the ball to make it a touchback during that game, so they got kind of lucky there as well. But yeah, I mean, they just kind of seemed like they didn't have an answer. Surprisingly, against the Bengals defense of all defenses, you would think that that'd be a pretty easy task, but still looking forward. It's going to be very cold in Cincinnati, by the way. It's supposed to be, I think, a high of 12 degrees.
mm,
And I don't think T. Higgins is going to play. He went back into concussion protocol. He looked like he was struggling against the Bills. So that's definitely going to be a factor as well.
oh yeah. Well, when the ground is cold too, that's your head's bouncing off of it. It's not great.
Yeah.
And speaking of cold weather, the Browns are heading to Chicago, which is also going to be a freezing cold game. Um, and we've already talked in length. Obviously, I have been rooting on the Bears all year. I have won one single bet from my man here, Nick. Um, because of the Bears, I am a Browns fan, but I just it's number one after last week. There's a whole new like view on the team. I think for pretty much every Cleveland fan and maybe fans all around the nation. I don't know. Um, so it's not anymore that we can't put up points, but I, I'm just too concerned. I mean, I know Miles Garrett wants the sack record. I think if they continue to let that be the defense's main priority, then I think they're going to continue to get gashed in the run game. And I think if they don't slow people down on first and second down like they didn't against the Titans, then it's
Yeah.
going to be for naught. And they're not even going to have opportunities to sack the quarterback because they're not going to need to run. Ben Johnson, we talked about him earlier. I mean, he's been scheming up some really, really great game plans all year. Even with Caleb Williams, who again you're not high on, Caleb Williams has struggled from time to time, and they've still been pulling out games. You've got Swift, you've got Manungai, and they're both, doing really well. It's almost like a mirror of the Lions from last, few years when Ben
Yeah.
Johnson was the OC. So um, I'm expecting Shador to have another decent game. I don't expect it to be another, high scoring affair where it's 31-28. But again, the run game is in shambles. The offensive line is in shambles. Um, but I think that the Browns are going to lose a close game. I think my prediction is the Bears 24, Browns 21, and
Okay.
my bold prediction, um, and for no sensible reason at all, I think Isaiah Bond finally has a breakout game this week. I think he has 2 touchdowns. I think he has a rushing touchdown
Okay.
on some kind of like jet sweep or double reverse or something crazy, and I think he has a receiving touchdown as well. I mean, he's so close, and I have some faith in this guy. So that's my bold prediction.
Okay.
Um, any you wanna bring me back down to reality on anything there?
I mean, I don't think the Browns win the game. I honestly do kind of like. Oh wait, you said they were going to lose anyway. What am I saying?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're kind of saying with the Miles Garrett thing on where he's just trying to go after the sack record. I don't know if I necessarily see it that way. I think I mean, he obviously wants that, but I feel like you might be looking too much into that. Just the way it may be looking when you're watching the game. I don't know. I just feel like you're trying to come up with an excuse there as to why they're not looking good.
Okay, well, the Browns was the number 1 rush defense, I guess, in the league as far as, like, yards allowed, okay? And last week, they gave up 161 yards to Tony Pollard. So,
Everybody's got a bad. Hey, you can have a bad game. It's.
okay, fingers crossed. Again,
I think that the defense will look better against the Bears on Sunday. I do. I do
okay,
honestly. I really like that score prediction that you said. I think the Bears do end up winning the game. It's going to be close though, and I think Caleb Williams is going to look extremely frustrated.
hmm,
So we shall
one
see.
can only hope. One can only hope. I'll be
You
rooting for the W, baby. Um,
know.
what are some other good games that you've got circled on the calendar ahead for the week?
It's got to be Bills and Patriots, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think the Patriots are underdogs right now at home. Um, I I honestly do like the Patriots, but if it was in Buffalo, I would like Buffalo. Um, Buffalo is just way too good at home. But again, the Bills, their defense is struggling, man. So I really do think that Drake May has an opportunity to have a day. Um,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, I do think the Patriots are going to end up winning the game in a close one.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels has been on he has been on fire all year. I mean, as an offensive coordinator, I think yeah, I'm I'm excited about the game. I think it's going to be an awesome shootout. I'm excited to
Yep.
watch Drake May play Josh Allen 2 times a year like moving forward. That's just going to be an awesome matchup. But
Yep.
I think I agree with everything you said. I just think the Patriots are just due, man. Like I think they're just due for a loss.
Okay.
And I think Josh Allen is just playing out of this world right now, and just put the team on his back. And they're finally, I talked about this last week, like they finally got James Cook going. Like they have
Yep.
not had the run game going until the last 2 weeks, and it was nice to see. So I think they pull one out. I think it's a close game. Like I said, I think it's a shootout, but I am absolutely looking forward to that. The biggest other game I'm looking forward to is the Lions and Rams.
Yeah.
Um, that's a 425 game. I mean, do you think th they are gonna just break the total points record for the NFL of that game? I mean, the Lions and the Rams?
See, this is where I get scared on these games because everybody is expected to take the over in this game for obvious reasons. And
Yep,
Vegas is just laughing because it's going to end up being like a 24 to 21 game, and the over is what, 50 something right now?
55 and a half, baby.
Holy crap, that is a lot of points. Wow. Yeah, that's a scary one, man. I mean, it very much could be obviously 35 to whatever, like 35, 31, whatever, but um I just also wouldn't be surprised if this game goes under just because everybody's going to be on the over. So,
The
should be a
Rams
really good
just
game though.
the Rams just put up 45 points last week, and Matthew
I know.
Stafford is playing for the MVP. Like,
I know.
I'm telling you,
I
it's it's gonna be a high scoring affair.
honestly, again, you know how my track record with locks, so yeah, take it because I don't really like it.
That's fair. That's fair. The other game that I'm looking forward to, I've got one other one circled, is the Packers and the Broncos. I mean, I
Hell of a
meant
good
it.
game.
I think it's going to be a good game, and I'm also looking forward to maybe the Broncos finally getting like punched in the mouth a little bit. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not really confident in the Packers, but I think that maybe the Packers are the ones to do that, and I would love them to see them quiet the hype on both the Bo Nix train. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
another
No.
425 game. You mentioned your locks of the week and how much you've been on fire with those recently. What do you got for us this week as far as locks? Anything?
Oh, I can't. Your mic went out. Or yeah, I can't hear you.
We good? You good? We back? Oh boy.
Technical difficulties here.
Can you hear me
Hang
now?
on.
Are we back? It's showing that I'm lighting up on the screen.
Hang on.
How are your headphones? I'm sure
Trying
everybody listening in right now is enjoying this. All right.
Can't hear you.
How's that? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Nothing? Oh boy. No, this is high
One
quality.
second.
I can hear you.
Hey, I can hear you now.
You
That's
good?
weird.
All right.
I don't know what happened.
That's all right.
Sorry.
No worries. So, what do you got for locks of the week?
Yeah, so I like the Bengals over. That's 51.5. I think this game could be a shootout, for sure. But I also, gosh, I like the under and the the shootout that you like. I'm taking the under.
Perfect. Because I'm taking the over. I've got my locks are the over on the Lions Rams 55.5. And then give me the over for the Patriots and the Bills at 49.5.
Okay,
I really like that
that's
as well.
interesting.
You
Okay,
mentioned the Bills defense just struggling, and I think both Josh Allen and
yeah.
Drake May are just
You know what?
playing out of their
I might
minds.
sprinkle in there too. So the Seahawks are 13.5 point favorites at home. I don't know what the first half or the first half spread is. I'm assuming it's probably going to be around 6 or 7. I would take the Seahawks in the first half against the spread. I think they just come out
Fair.
firing. I I don't know what to expect out of the Colts offense going into this week. So we'll see.
All right. Well, one other thing we got to talk about. We got to talk about the Buckeyes. We got some
Yep.
positives and some negatives to talk about. Let's talk about the game last week. I mean, they struggled. I mean, I'm sure you watched the whole game. What were your thoughts?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they got outplayed in some areas, man, and I think obviously Ryan Day is kind of kicking himself for kicking a field goal on 4th and 1 at the end of the game. He that like every coach says, if it works, you're the hero. If it doesn't work, you get criticized. I get it, but in that situation, and why wouldn't you go for it there? It just makes no sense to me. But like every Ohio State fan is thinking already, them losing, it doesn't really matter, and it honestly kind of helps them when it comes to who they're going to potentially play. So I don't know. This is why I think this whole it kind of got overhyped in my opinion. Like, 1 versus 2, it's just the game didn't matter that much with with there being 12 teams in the playoffs. So I'm not necessarily concerned. I think if they end up playing though, and we'll talk about the bracket, I'm assuming, but yeah, I think their biggest test is going to probably be Georgia when that time comes. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, the one thing that I agree with you. Should have gone for it, right? Even if they would have made the field goal and they would have if Indiana would have had one good drive, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Mendoza was fine, was lighting it up towards the end there. I mean, not lighting it up, but I mean, he was in a rhythm, right? So, but the thing that I keep going back to is like, if they play that game 10 times, I bet you Ohio State wins that game 8 out of 10 times. So
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
concerned. I think it's actually fuel for the fire for the coaches and all the players and everyone basically, that now they have a little fire that they didn't have before.
Yeah,
The D line, the Indiana D line was just really good, and again, I think they can game plan for around that. Um,
yep,
December 20th, you just mentioned the playoff as far as for the Buckeyes are concerned. December 20th at noon is a Saturday game, is the Miami versus Texas A&M game. That's the next thing for us to look forward to as far as Buckeyes fans. That game will determine who we play on New Year's Eve. You've got Carson Beck with the Hurricanes, Marcel Reed of the A&M, the Aggies, if you will. They both have had like similar seasons, right? They're both right around 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. I mean, obviously the Aggies are ranked 7th, the Miami's ranked 10th, so they're at home, they're favored. I'm just thinking that, I mean, I do like the Aggies in that game. Obviously, we're not, talking too much about it, but their defense, I think, is better, and I think they've got just some studs at wide receiver. Does it
yeah.
concern you if we do play A&M?
I don't think it does. I mean, honestly, I could see Miami even winning this game too. I think A&M is the better team, but I would not be shocked if Miami wins. Let's just say. So, no, I don't think Ohio State should be scared for either one of those teams. I just don't want them to look ahead to playing most likely Georgia. I don't want them to look ahead. That would be a problem, but I think they'll be okay.
Well, last year, I have to look this up maybe next for our next show, but didn't last year all the teams that had the bye week, didn't they all lose? We'll talk
They
about it
might
next
have.
week.
It was, yeah. I got to look it up. I have no idea.
Sorry, I didn't want to spring something new on you.
Yeah.
The other thing let's talk about real quick before we hop out of here. I mean, yesterday is National Signing Day, okay, the 9th. And then all of a sudden today, on a random Wednesday, Sharon, the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines football team, gets fired. And then there's a whole bunch of rumors, all kinds of stuff going on Twitter that I was reading. What's your take on all of this?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he was having an affair with his assistant. And most recent news, we were just talking about this before we started the show. Like they're at like her apartment complex. He went over there, I guess, and was threatening to kill himself and everything. It's not a good look, man. But it is a coincidence. I think you're right about National Signing Day. That's very weird. But yeah, man, that's just some crazy. It's unfortunate. It's sad. But I feel like the entire fan base is just like, what is going on?
Yeah, for sure. My other main question, I guess, on this, because I mean, obviously we're not huge on following Michigan, but do you think Bryce Underwood heads to the transfer portal with all this going on?
It's a good question, man. I think that he's going to probably have to see who they potentially get as their head coach. You mentioned Brian Kelly before the show. I hope they do that. I think that'd be hilarious.
That'd be great.
I saw even like John Gruden or Nick Saban. Those would be interesting. Those would definitely be interesting. I don't see John Gruden going back to college, and Nick he's not allowed to go coach again. But would be pretty crazy if one of those happens.
I can't see Saban doing that, but
no, his wife wouldn't allow it.
No, okay, good. We can cross that concern off the list.
Right.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll just see what happens. So that's all we've got for the show today. That'll wrap us up for the Rust Belt Rivalry podcast. Browns fans, Bengals fans, Buckeye Nation. We've got a lot to look forward to. Nick, take us away, buddy.
Yep, make sure you guys subscribe. I saw that Brian went live for this episode, so we're trying that, obviously. So let us know what you guys think, and we'll talk to you next week.
Awesome. Later, guys.